I have two issues. First of all, there's only one female in screaming females, and two, that female doesn't scream. This is a crisis. The Screaming Females started back in 2006 as an indie rock band. And to be honest, I really didn't hear about them until Rocks of 2014 came out with their song Rotten Apple from their album Ugly. When I decided to give Ugly a listen back when Rocks came out, and to be honest, I really didn't like what I heard. Marissa Paternoster, by the way, I love that last name. Really, I didn't like her vocals. She sounded like a really, really annoying music teacher, and I really didn't care for it. But then I decided to check out Rose Mountain, because I have to admit, these guys really have a whole lot of talent involved. So I decided to look up this album, and here's my review. So, first of all, it starts out with Empty Head, and it's a really, really great rock track while keeping the indie genre alive. It does sound great, and Mike does a very good job with the bass. He is awesome at bass, by the way. And then we go on the right, and once again, the bass sounds great, Marissa sounds good. And speaking of which, about Marissa, I really wasn't a fan of her singing, like I said. And it's that I really didn't want to hear this album just because of her singing. But, actually, I was very surprised, because she sounds really, really good in this album, and this track. And, honestly, I have no clue how she can play such a complicated guitar and still sing. I mean, I'm not saying that she's going out all full-out classical guitar with a Mexican sound, but, I mean, she still pulls out these awesome riffs and keeps the song alive with her singing. And she sings good in this album. Honestly, it's really amazing. And Mike, King Mike, he is really good on the bass. And then, with track 3, it's the same story. King Mike sounds great. And also, like I keep saying, Marissa sounds a whole lot better in this album. Yeah. Also, Marissa's solo is very good as well on a guitar. I was actually very impressed. And then on track 4, which is Burning Car, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff going on between the trio. I'm not saying it was a bad track, because it was quite good. But I do say that it just wasn't all that amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a very complicated song, but I think there was just a little bit too much going on between the trio. But overall, I mean, it's very tough to pull off what this trio can do. But also, because I am saying trio, I'm not saying that any band like Rush or Muse are better than them, but they are very good for being an indie rock type of band, to where they are 3 people. They do sound amazing. They actually know how to play their instruments, and it's really, they show it. I'm just very impressed, because I really was not a fan with Ugly back from 2012. I really think that this album's off to a good start. And then we go on to track number 5, which is Broken Neck. And it does get a bit trippy, almost like the album art. No! Hi! Sorry about that. Sorry. Anyway, back on track 5, Broken Neck. This track is solid. Marissa sounds great. Jarrett sounds great. But the only part I don't like is whenever it is only Jarrett and Melissa. And Melissa. Oh my gosh, I just called her Melissa. I'm very sorry, Marissa. But anyway, this is still a good track up until whenever it is only Jarrett and Marissa. I mean, it's okay, but I feel like they just shouldn't have had that being the case of what's happening. But anyway, on to track 6, which is Rose Mountain. This is basically exactly a mountain slope. It has a killer intro that's amazing, and the ending sucks. Honestly, what I feel like it is that this intro is a killer. It murdered the ending. I mean, it's a good song, but it just is kind of everywhere. I'm not a fan of it. And that leads me to track 7, which is Hopeless. And it's a very sluggish, slow song. There's nothing much to it. It's not all that great. There's many other tracks in here that are much better than this song. But it doesn't get good until the last 30 seconds. I mean, it's not a long song, but I would have liked to have something better in the middle of the song to keep me awake. So to me personally, this is probably one of the album's lower points. Anyway, track 8 is Triumph. And this song starts out very, very great. Has an amazing bass line by The King, who is Mike, by the way. And it has an awesome guitar riff. This track is solid gold. And while this track does seem to rush a bit, it is still great. They keep it together, it's a fun track, and honestly, is amazing. And the end is perfect with all the noise. I really like this track. And then on to a short track, which is It's Not Fair. And this song wastes no time, and does a great job. The distortion's pretty darn good, but I do feel like this track should have been longer. It's only like a minute and a half, and it's not fair to me. I mean, I feel like it should be longer. It's not fair. It's also, the track's called It's Not Fair. Anyway, track 10, which is the last track on this album, is Criminal Image. That was my Criminal Image. But anyway, this track starts off with a killer bass line, kill it, and an awesome guitar riff. And really, all I can say is that King Mike is a king at the bass. I really do believe it. He is a really, really great bassist, and he does very good on this album. Sorry about my cough right there. But he does a really, really good job. I mean, I know that there are many better bassists out there, but for him just improving from 2012 on their album Ugly, I do feel like he is really, really good. He does have a ton of talent. And the track is awesome. It gets distorted, it has a good mixture of distortion, clean, craziness, uncraziness. It's pretty darn awesome. I really do recommend checking this out. It's a very strong song. It's a great way to end off this album. I give this album an 8.5 out of 10, just like my last album. Yeah. If you enjoyed this review of Screaming Females Rose Mountain, I decided that you should give it a like. Yeah, a like. And you should subscribe to me. And, you know what? If you are enjoying my pilot episodes, or really launch episodes, because this is the last launch episode, of my channel until probably later this week. You know what? Share it with your friends. I think they might enjoy it. And if they don't enjoy it, then screw them. Just kidding. I'm a nice person, and I don't really mind. Still subscribe. Have a nice day.